We're going to begin this hour with something that's not so nice, a closer look at King Charles' cancer diagnosis. Buckingham Palace announced yesterday that the king is having treatment and has put off any public appearances at this time. The announcement did not say what type of cancer that he has. It did say that doctors discovered it during his recent hospitalization for benign enlarged prostate. Joining us now from outside the palace is CBS News royal contributor, that's Julian Payne on your screen. He used to be the communications director for then Prince Charles. Good morning to you, Julian. It's good to have you here to discuss this because you worked with the king for many years and you know him well. Can you tell us, listen, we don't have a lot of information at this time, but what we do know is very unsettling. How does he normally handle this kind of information?
Well, look, I think the first thing to say is the king is someone who is usually in very robust health, huge amount of physical activity all the time. When I worked with him, it was terrifically hard to keep up with him, especially when we were travelling overseas. So this will be something he's not used to. I think he will be stoic about it. I think he will do what the doctors are asking him to do. And I think his eye will be firmly focused on getting back to the job and getting back to full fitness.
Why do you think they're not telling us exactly what type of cancer? I realize it's a personal issue, I get that. But the fact that they're not telling us more information is leading to all sorts of speculation, and it makes you think whatever it is in news may not be good, especially knowing that Harry is traveling to the UK to see his dad. What do you make of that?
Well, I think those are two slightly separate things. I think you have to remember, even in Queen Elizabeth's reign, they simply never talked about health issues at all. The king has taken quite a bold step by, first of all, talking about the issue with his prostate recently. And when he did that, they saw inquiries to the National Health Service go up by 1,000%. So he will see that there is a positive impact when you talk about health matters. Now, he's now dealing with a cancer situation. I think he is thinking what I should do is talk about this because it may encourage other people to get themselves checked, to make those doctor's appointments. But I also think it's important that he has just a little bit of space, a little bit of privacy so that he can deal with the issue that's affecting him directly. But he is mindful of doing everything he possibly can to make sure he uses this situation for the betterment of everybody else. Now, his son coming to see him, of course, that any of us, Gayle, would want to go and see our loved ones if they're unwell, and I think in this case the Duke of Sussex is absolutely no different. But I don't attribute his visit to the gravity of the situation. I think it's simply more families coming together at a difficult time.
I hope so.
Yeah, we hear you, Julian. And we definitely want the king to have, his head in the game here. It's a fight. Cancer's always a fight, and it's a family fight as well, so it would make sense for family to gather. But this phrase, a form of cancer, it does leave the public in a state of unsure of how concerned and worried to be. And one of the theories out there, which I'd love to have you respond to, is that this is a kind of preparing the public, this delicate, this subtle phrase, preparing the public for the worst news that will be coming shortly. Does that make sense to you?
I understand the question. I would actually steer you the other way. These Buckingham Palace statements, I know because I used to write them, they are very carefully written and the words are very carefully chosen. When they talk about the fact that the king will continue to carry out his constitutional duties, his red boxes, his meetings with the Prime Minister, what they are actually telling you is that he is in good shape and that role as head of state is not being impeded in any way. If it was the case, as you were saying, that actually something more serious was just around the corner, they absolutely would not be giving you that level of operational detail.
Very good to know. I really appreciate that. Julian Payne, thank you very much.